Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. Fuck, that's hot. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. If you're new here, hey hun, be sure to subscribe and follow me on all my social medias. The links will be down below. Money ain't no to me. Today I'm having that girl chat with you guys about all about sex and masturbation and all that good stuff, all that juicy stuff. No pun intended, but I don't know what that fucking wink was. Anyways, so I asked you guys on Instagram to send me through some questions about sex and all of that jazz, and you guys came through with the replies. If you did want to be featured in the next video where I do some sort of Q&A via Instagram, then you can follow it right here. It's at Codie Phillips _. No pressure, but you know, if you want to, you can. So I'm always all about breaking the stigma and the taboo around sex, masturbation, all of that jazz. So I thought this would be a perfect video to, one, educate you guys, and two, just get the community a bit more comfortable with everything to do with sex, baby. Before I get into this video, I would love to give a huge shout out to our sponsor for today's video, O Companion. So if you guys haven't heard about O before, it is a sex toy company. I am obsessed with their things. So without further ado, I'm just going to hop straight in to showing you guys these sex toys and talking a little bit about them. Okay, so I've got three here to show you guys. So we've got the Blush, which is a clitoral stimulator. I've got the Duchess, which is a bullet vibrator, and my personal favorite, the Sax. Now this just reminds me of a microphone as you guys can see, but anyway, I definitely feel like this is my 100% most favorite one out of the three. I love vibrators that pack a punch. I love vibrators that pack a punch, and this definitely gives you the intensity you want and need if you're anything like me or have similar needs like I do. So this one has different settings and different intensities, so you switch it on. Guys, if you could feel this through the camera, you'd be having an orgasm. I hope you guys are basically having an orgasm even just hearing that through the camera. So it goes different settings as well. I'm gonna need to cut this video short real quick. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite for self-pleasure and masturbation. Now we have got here the Duchess. So this is the little bullet vibrator. This is my favorite kind of sex toy to use during sex. So it's small enough to not get in the way of anything else going on, but packs a punch enough to intensify the sexual experience. So I love little tiny like pocket vibrators that can do just that during sex. And now we've got the clitoral stimulator. Guys, if you have never used a clitoral stimulator, do yourself a favor and pick this up. I swear to God, it is as if, okay, the stimulation this gives you on your clit is genuinely like no other. If you guys have used sex toys before, or vibrators or dildos or whatnot, you guys have never felt the kind of pleasure that this is going to give you, I swear to God. And this is really good because it can double up as a nipple stimulator as well. So if you're into that and you wanted to have different type of orgasm, definitely try it on your nipples as well. But my personal favorite is to use it clitoral stimulation, and this is just amazing. So it does come in very cute packaging like that, and it comes with the little pouch as well to securely put it in your side table. So on the topic of packaging, it does come discreetly, so no one's going to know what you're purchasing, which is always really good. The shipping is going to come faster than you once you get your hands on these sex toys, is all I'm saying. If you guys wanted to get any of these sex toys, they do come in the Oh My God bundle. However, if you did want any from the website, I had to set you guys up with a discount code. So it is Codie45 for 45% off the whole entire website. So go crazy, use it to your heart's desire. 45% off sex toys, guys. What the fuck? Like that's unheard of. Anyways, I'll leave all the details down below of the sex toys that I have myself and the website if you guys want to just check out any of the other items that they have. Anyway guys, I'm going to hop straight into the sex questions now. So thank you so much to everyone that asked me questions on Instagram. Again, if you'd like to be featured in the next one, I will leave my Instagram on the screen so you guys can, you know, give it a follow if you want and then be featured in the next video. The first question is it true after the man finishes and leaves, you'll go come because he wasn't enough to get it done? I would personally say, from my own personal experience and what I've heard with my friends, having an orgasm, especially done by someone else, is very hard. So even with myself, it takes about half an hour for me to orgasm, which is crazy. For me to know my own body and it still take that long, let alone someone that doesn't know my body and is trying to do it, is next to impossible. I've only had one guy to ever make me come, I'm not gonna lie. And I would say that I have faked one for the guy to go home for me to get the job done. So I would say It doesn't happen all the time. I only did that 1-2 times. But in terms of a guy not making you come, it is quite regular, at least with my personal experience. The next question is kinks or things you wish you could get guys to be more open to. So, okay, so this is definitely a personal preference, but I would say I don't like anal, but I wish guys weren't scared of the booty hole. Like, I'm saying freshly showered. Like, I'm not asking anyone to go anywhere near anything with their tongue or mouth unless it's tasting like peaches straight out the shower, right? But a lot of guys aren't open to even just like dipping their toes in anything to do with the butthole, even if it's like fully fresh. I've had my friends be more open with their boyfriends with doing butt stuff than guys to girls with butt stuff, if that makes sense. So I would definitely say that's one thing I wish guys were more open to with my personal experience. Aside from that, I definitely want to try more kinky BDSM type of things. All the guys I've slept with have been vanilla. They've been so vanilla, and I haven't experienced that much, even though I would want to. Like, they would probably go home and say I had the freakiest sex and all they did was pull my hair and choke me out. So genuinely, the most kinkiest thing that's happened to me is they've choked me to a point where I almost passed out because I started seeing stars. And if that's the kinkiest you get, then that's a bit sad if you ask me. So I would say definitely more kinky and BDSM style and more butthole stuff, because butthole things can be nice and fun. So the next question is, does losing your virginity actually hurt, and any tips? I personally have been masturbating since I was 12 years old, and it wasn't my first rodeo with experiencing things internally penetrating me. With that being said, obviously I can only go from experience because I had popped my cherry elsewhere, not during the first time during sex. I don't actually know when that popped, or you know, but I didn't have any issues with pain. It was all lubricated. I was comfortable with the person, and I had experience obviously with dildos and sex toys. Sorry, camera stop there. Anyways, so I would definitely say I was lucky in that sense that I had that experience and my cherry popped elsewhere, so it wasn't my first rodeo with having things penetrate me internally. Any tips? I would say make sure you're comfortable with the person. Make sure, with me, I couldn't give a shit who I lost it to. I just had this interest in this guy for a few months, and I ended up choosing him to lose it to, and he didn't actually even know that I was a virgin. Anyway, we don't talk about that. So yeah, my best tips would be to make sure you're comfortable with the person you are having sex with, to make sure there is enough lube to go around. There's never enough, so just make sure you're very lubricated and moist. I don't like that word, never mind. And don't be afraid. The more you're afraid and anxious of it, the tighter you're going to be. So the more you're comfortable and open and ready, the more physically you're going to be ready for it as well, so it's not going to hurt as much. With my personal experience, I fucked bigger dildos than that guy's dick anyway, so you know, it wasn't anything special. The next question is, how would you go about telling your conservative family that you're a SW? So SW obviously stands for sex worker, and this, don't get it twisted, doesn't just mean you're fucking people for money. I'm a sex worker. I work in the adult entertainment industry, being a skimpy and having OnlyFans. So don't get it twisted. And also, if you are an escort, no judgment here. I'm just saying a lot of people put sex worker in you're fucking people for money, but that's not the case. So I was really lucky in terms of telling my mum, because my grandma was one of the first fucking Playboy bunnies. My mum tried to be an escort, my grandma tried to be a stripper, and it wasn't their first rodeo. They were not new to the industry, so I was definitely lucky in that sense. However, having a conservative family, I would say, would be quite difficult, but just remember, they're going to love you no matter what. So it might be a shock to the system initially, but if you genuinely really care about the relationship, for example with my dad, I couldn't really care less what he thought, so I don't care for him to know. But if you're really worried about that relationship being ruined with the family members you're going to tell, maybe just keep it on the DL. And look, sex work is not forever. There is a timeline for everyone's career in it, so even if you just want to keep it discreet, but if you do really want to tell them, then just make sure you're coming out in a loving way, hearing what they're saying, because they obviously have different morals, values and beliefs as well. So hearing their side, but asking them to be really open with you and your side as well. That's probably the best advice I could give with telling conservative family members that you're doing that. The next question is, what really is squirting? So I don't have the actual definition of squirting here, but I'm going to say from the best of what I know. Squirting, let's get it straight, is not pee. We are not peeing on you when we're squirting, just FYI. So yes, it comes from the same area, but you physically cannot pee during sex. So it is not pee when you're squirting, but the best way I can explain it is, I would say in my personal experience with squirting, it only happens for me during getting fingered. So that's the only time that has happened for me. There's a certain way you gotta like hit internally and a certain intensity and like roughness to make me squirt. That's my personal, you know. But I find it very difficult for a guy to do that. It's only happened twice. I wouldn't say it's like that amazing. If anything, it just leaves a bit of a mess. It doesn't feel any different to the woman to squirt or not to squirt. I think it's more of like a turn on thing for the guy because they're seeing that, I guess, maybe. But I just wanted to say it is not peeing. It's just like water. So yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it aside from it just happens when it hits a certain way and it's not this. So there you go. The next question is, when was the first time you had sex / masturbated? So I don't remember the specific first time I masturbated, but I know I was about 10 to 12 and I was in the house that I grew up in, and it was with my fingers at that point. So I think I had my iPod Touch at the time and I went on a private safari, you know, watched whatever porn I was watching, which is really weird for like 10-year-old to like be doing that. I feel like that's so young. That is the age my sister is when I started masturbating. That is so weird. She is a child. What was I doing? Why was I doing that at that? Anyways, I think my mum probably definitely knew what I was doing because she would take my iPod away from me. And I feel like she knew what was going down, which is a little bit weird. And if she didn't, hi mum, now you know. So that's fun. First time I had sex, I was 17. I was a couple months off being 18. Let me give you a little backstory. I don't think the person's gonna watch it, but if he does, or if his mates do, anyway, so there was this singer, if you will. He was on like X Factor or one of those fucking things. He was flying, it wasn't him by the way, so don't fucking think I was fucking this like crazy fucking famous person. I wasn't. So he was flying over to have like, it wasn't like a concert, it was like a really chill, intimate kind of like jam sesh, right? It was at a hotel and it was this private little function room, I think, right? So the person that was opening for them, so my best friend Manu has a friend. It was his band, so him and the guitarist were opening, and I saw the guitarist and I said to my best friend Manu, I want him to take my virginity and I want to sleep with him. And that's the first time I ever knew of this man, right? Ended up matching with him on Tinder, adding him on Snapchat. You know how it goes, all that kind of jazz. And then a few weeks into talking to him, whatever, it was very, like, I didn't talk to him much at all. But let me tell you, I was obsessed with this man. He was my type. Literally fucking musician, tattoos, piercings, depressed, fucking brunette. Fucking, he was everything I wanted and he was my type to a T, right? Like, I can't even express that enough. He was literally like, that's my type, that's my type. Anyways, so I started talking to him, whatever. It was very casual. And then one night, I actually had a breakdown at work that day. So I'd been crying, I had a nap and I still had my makeup on. And he said, hey, wanna come over? I have 20 minutes to spare to pick you up. And that's that. So with my cried face, my face that I napped on, couldn't really fix it that much. I couldn't really do it. I only had to have a quick shower and then get my ass ready for a dick appointment for the first time in 20 minutes. And then yeah, that was it. And I never spoke to him again. And then he found out that he was my first, and that was that. The next question is, what are some things you wish you knew before losing your virginity? Look, from my personal experience, I had a really good time losing my virginity. I didn't have any horror stories. The worst that it got is I accidentally kicked him in the face and it was so fucking embarrassing. But some things I wish I knew before is how disgusting swallowing cum is. I'm sorry, I am not a swallower. I really dislike the taste, the texture, everything to do with cum. So I wish I knew just to the extent of how gross it actually is, and I would have saved myself some of the worry of doing it. Aside from that, I honestly don't really wish I knew anything else. I had a really good time experience and I had a lot of experience with masturbating previously, so it wasn't like I was this innocent little girl losing my virginity. I had had a bit of experience with doing things myself. And yeah, that's all I can really say on that one. Not too much, but everyone is completely different and everyone has different experiences and loses at different times, situations, people, all that kind of stuff. Okay, the last question I'm answering today is sucking dick okay? So me personally, I absolutely love sucking dick. I genuinely love sucking dick more than like being eaten out sometimes. I just feel so powerful, and I love taking control and making a man feel that good and seeing the effect of what I can do to someone. So I love it, but I will say it has to be squeaky fucking clean. And I say that because there is a lot of men that don't maintain their hygiene to the point where it needs to be maintained. There's been like cheesy fucking dicks, which is just so disgusting to say. But men out there, if you're watching this, you need to be hygienic and maintain hygiene everywhere, okay? You know what I'm saying? Anyway guys, that was all the questions I'm going to be answering all about sex. If you guys want me to do a part 2 or anything else to do with this kind of subject, please leave your video ideas below and I'll be sure to do them for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video and tuning back in to my channel, and until next time, bye guys. Mwah.